Well, any notion that the great interprovincial rivalry is not what it once was has been well and truly banished by the capacity. 82,000 tickets sold to Leinster and Munster fans over the last few weeks. If paying customers are anything to go by, Leinster against Munster remains one of the great club rivalries in Irish and indeed world rugby. Well, 3 changes to the Leinster starting 15. Lee Barron into the front row in place of Ronan Kelleher. James Ryan returns at lock, joining Orgy Snyman, and as you can see, the back row there is unchanged. Kieran Frawley once again named at fly half. Osborne and Ringrose in the centre, while Liam Turner comes in for the injured Jimmy O'Brien in the Leinster back 3, and that is how they line out. Pretty much as strong a Leinster 15 as Leo Cullen could have selected for this one. What about the visitors then to Croke Park? 4 changes, 1 positional switch from the side that beat the Ospreys last week. Stephen Archer making his first start of the season in the front row. It's Klein and Tyke Byrne at lock. Gavin Coombs returns to the starting 15 at number 8, with Jack O'Donoghue moving to blindside, as you were in the half-backs from last weekend. And Alex Nankivell returns from that shoulder injury to partner in the centre Tom Farrell after his brilliant start to the season, and also Sean O'Brien back in the Munster squad, returning to duty. That is how Munster will line out. It's a beautiful evening, it's fresh and it's crisp. Donald Lenihan, Tyke Byrne leading Munster out. Munster know that they had the measure of Leinster last time out. It's a new season, it's a new look side for both teams here, and we are very, very excited for this one.
Yeah, well, if you can't get up to this game, you shouldn't be involved in sport. It's a pleasure to be here. 80,000 plus capacity. I notice Leinster have managed to have all their fans on the lower decks of the Hogan and the Cusack. The Munster faithful have been shoved up to the top of the
rightly so, Don, rightly so. Home fixture.
They've taken their time to come in, but listen, there's young players on both of these teams who grew up in Gaelic football backgrounds, who dreamed of playing in Croke Park someday. The Leinster players had that opportunity last year when they faced Northampton in the semi-final. It's 2009 since any Munster player had the opportunity to grace the jersey here. That didn't go too well. I'm hoping it goes a bit better today.
I'm sure you are. Leinster fans might have something to say about it, and indeed their captain Caelan Doris, we heard from him pre-match and spoke this week. He was out in front of the media for anyone around attending the press conferences about how focused he is on his performances first and foremost, and the captaincy he hopes is something that he will grow into. He's doing a fine job as things stand. He's a very popular player both for Leinster and for Ireland, but a lot of what they do today and indeed this season is going to go through the number 8. Big night for that man there. Once that 10 jersey, as Leinster has asked the coach to be the first choice number 10, he has an opportunity tonight. He's going up against Jack Crowley.
Yeah, it's a huge game for him. The 2 Irish 10s, well, 1 Irish 10, the man in possession. I mean, Kieran Frawley has appeared 90 times for Leinster, but he's only had 14 starts in that number 10 jersey. I thought he was really impressive in Benetton last week. Unfortunately, injury decreed that he only got 30 minutes there, had to go to another position. Really interested to see how he goes in that position today.
Big day for him. Big day for players across the board, with the November Internationals just around the corner. Graham Rowntree, what has he got up his sleeve, along with Mike Prendergast, Dennis Leamy, to try and unsettle the home side here. We're underway in Croke Park. The first penalty goes to Munster.
It's just a penalty, just timing.
Super hang time off that kick-off, but Mike Haley calls early. He gets hit in the air. You can imagine the tension. Both sides want to get their hands on the ball early. Just one of the Leinster players a little bit over-exuberant. Gives Jack Crowley the opportunity to launch Munster into that Leinster half. And first set-piece opportunity of the day.
Now this is going to be a crucial area, the line-out, Donald. It's been going pretty well for both teams here, but Leinster have the most steals in the URC at the moment. It'll be a fascinating part of the battle.
Yeah, it is, especially with R.G. Snyman. He knows Munster's calls, he knows their setup, so Munster will have to rejig from that point of view.
Let's see if they get the first one. They do. And it is their captain, Tyke Byrne, reliable as ever, gets up. And Munster set the maul. That's a good driving maul early on, forcing Leinster back to their own 10-metre line.
Don't change.
There for Casey, and it goes to Nankivell. Great to see him back. So important to Munster, of course, particularly with the absence of Antoine Frisch. Long looping pass, was that forward? Calvin Nash says kick and chase anyway, and there's no whistle sounding. Referee Chris Busby happy to let play continue. Counter ruck from Leinster. It's a good one.
Use it. Yeah, miss.
Back to Osborne. Big boot. So brought down. Tom Farrell did really well to break the line. Here's Haley. Two outside him. One of them is Jack Crowley. Now, space here for Sean O'Brien. Beats Frawley in the tackle. Casey, kick over the top. Jack Crowley chasing. Hugo Keenan. Now, was he inside the 22? That was very, very close. Munster fans don't think he was.
No, first impression was I thought he was outside, but interesting already. We saw Bernard and Murray talking about Munster trying to find the space in the 5 metre channels. That's why those skip passes are going in early.
Okay, retreat, Blue.
Hugo Keenan took it very quickly. I'm sure he didn't want to see a replay on the big screen. But here's O'Brien again.
Stay back, 7.
There for Casey. Crowley, little chip for the corner, meant for Calvin Nash. Oh, he almost got there. In fact, it was Nankerville, excuse me, who was first to react there. I thought he was going to throw himself, Nankerville, at the ball, but he just seemed to hesitate.
Yeah, he certainly did, and again, just that kick pass, the space in the 5 metre channels, all that has been pre-designed. You just see Leinster, that wall of jerseys, but they come up between the 15 metre lines, and basically they're backing that you won't be able to get that ball wide.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. That early pass from Nankerville, the space is always there, but you got to have the skill set to throw it. And that was marginal, right on the line of being forward, but it wasn't. And then Nash puts the ball on the boot, and then they put pressure on the exit. So they're going to have to Frawley, and because it's unstructured play, they're able to get away down the left-hand side. But that's going to be fascinating. And Crowley, to be fair to him, has the game management, the footballing ability to definitely challenge Leinster in a way that most teams can't.
Knock on the tackle, so advantage to Leinster. Osborne just decided against throwing that offload. Probably the right decision. Here's Snyman. Big tackle goes in from Jeremy Lockman. He let his former teammate know exactly that he was right in his face as soon as he got hands on that ball. Turner underneath it. Brilliant from Haley. And the offload. And back inside to Sean O'Brien. Munster starting the game really, really well.
Not on the ball.
Klein. Crowley. Quick hands. Big tackle. Caelan Doris. I tell you what, Donald, they are not taking a backward step out there.
No, but Munster, just little or no time on the ball. What a hit from Tadhg Furlong. I mean, he's got to get in, do his job in the scrum, but that besides, just the pace in which he got off the... Look at this take from Snyman. One hand, it's like a pea in his hand.
Yeah.
You look at the first line out of the game, it went to Tadhg Byrne, but he barely got it because Snyman, I think, read, he knew the call, and that throw from Niall Scannell had to be inch perfect. But look where Leinster are now. That pressure, it got them the penalty, 15 metres from the Munster line, and this is where Leinster are dangerous. That maul they have, absolutely huge.
Most of Leinster's tries this season coming from inside the opposition 22. Snyman again one-handed almost. Van der Fleer, Edge Osborne, look at the options everywhere. Crashing up Gary Ringrose, ball there for Jamison Gibson Park, and now James Ryan. Back in the team, he played rounds 1 and 2 of the URC. Tadhg Furlong. Meters made, in contact, still there for Osborne, nice pick, and the offload to Kieran Frawley almost at the line. Leinster half a metre short now. Gibson Park, the long one to you-know-who, James Lowe. How often have we seen that for Leinster and Ireland?
Well, he almost walked over the line at the end, but again, that comes back. Quality of the set piece first day. Snyman again. Second ball win for him, but Munster or Leinster looked to move the ball immediately. They shifted the target, brought it in under the post. Munster defensively got too narrow, and a great awareness from Leinster to see the space on the outside. You just see the big carry here from Tadhg Furlong. He sucks in 2 or 3 Munster defenders. Nankerville tries to rip the ball free. Great awareness. What an offload there by Osborne. Frawley held short, but Gibson Park, look at his vision. And James Lowe could have been in his Sunday best, and he'd still have scored that. What a start for Leinster.
And a ball into the crowd to celebrate as well. What a start for Leinster. How many times do we see Gibson Park miss out players on the direct outside to find his winger and score crucial scores? And conversion from Kieran Frawley, 11 points already this season. It's a difficult one. That's the angle, struck it beautifully. That's a fantastic kick. 7 points to 0. Let's go down first time to Murray Kinsella.
Yeah, well, Leinster tend to be extremely efficient in the opposition 22. Up there with Munster actually is one of the most efficient. But actually what I liked about that was the defensive side of it. Jack Nienaber gets a pat on the back for the defensive set that led to the attacking chance. Munster tried to play into the heart of it. They got turned over. Are they going to go there again?
So Jack Crowley to get us back on the way. Bernard Jackman, your thoughts on the first try? I mean, it was typical Leinster, obviously.
Yeah, no, I agree with Murray completely. Graham Round should be wondering what gave them that entry. How did they get into 22? It came from trying to play off an edge. They were offloading down the edge, was really healthy, but then you just got to go front door. You got to win a collision, shorten the defensive line. They try to play out the back, and that's where Leinster are strong.
Taken in by Andrew Porter.
No three.
Scrum will be interesting when we do get one.
Okay,
just given that Leinster have struggled a bit over the last 2 or 3 weeks or so, while Munster have been rock solid every time. Gibson Park puts one up. Haley comes for it, but he's not going to get there in time. Got a fortunate bounce though. Ball's gone loose. Caelan Doris first to react, but he wasn't in the right side. And Chris Busby giving Munster the penalty.
Yeah, just a side entry there from Leinster, but we're only, what is it, 7 minutes, 8 minutes into the game. Already Gibson Park, for me, he's bossing this game. He's scanning the field. He knows where the space is. But from a physical point of view, Bernard, Leinster certainly out of the blocks early.
Yeah, they are. And Munster will be so frustrated because they have shown, you know, brightness. And now we see Scannell going in maybe for a HIA, and obviously with the hooker problems in Irish rugby, hopefully he's okay. But yeah, you can't let Leinster into your 22 easily, particularly when you're on the attack, and that's what'll really frustrate them. They were in control of the ball, got caught behind the gain line, give away a penalty, and then it's so hard to stop that power dome.
Absolutely. Dermot Barron, of course, who's captain Munster on so many occasions. It's great to have his experience on the bench. This line-out should be seamless with him there, but Munster will look for some kind of reward from here.
First throw, he can't have had too much time to warm up, and that's sometimes what happens. New hooker straight into the fray, hasn't had an awful lot of time to get his mind and his body to the pitch, and that can happen.
Yeah, but that was read brilliantly by Leinster. Again, I suspect Snyman's internal knowledge of Munster's line-out had a role to play there.
Just on that, Donald, people will be saying, well, surely Munster changed the calls. It's not the calls, it's actually the philosophy, the systems, the ideas, what Tadhg Byrne is thinking. Absolutely. That won't change. Snyman knows that.
Yeah, and that's what he alluded to as well, the edge that he might have in those opposition line-out calls. Let's have a look at this again. James Ryan getting up.
There you are. I mean, again, it's a systems thing. Snyman knows exactly what Munster are looking to do. I mean, that's a clear lift. Ryan, in advance, was always going to attack that space.
Another steal for Leinster in the URC stats book. Barron looks to make amends here, goes to the back, but again, nobody ready for it. And it was a shrug of the shoulders from Tadhg Byrne, as if to say that wasn't what we talked about. Gary Ringrose looking to straighten and get the pass away. With a dummy from Hugo Keenan there for Gibson Park, and then it goes to Snyman, trying to get in those hands behind the first defensive hit and then release the offload.
Yeah, it looked like a knock-on to me.
James Lowe, lovely pass. Conan on the outside. Liam Turner going to back himself here. Back inside he comes to avoid the touchline.
Advantage.
And now advantage being played to Leinster in full flight here. Caelan Doris. Look at the clear out. No, another long looping pass. This time Turner back inside to Conan. And we will have a whistle for the penalty. No advantage coming. Leinster might take this quickly. James Lowe's looking for the mark. He taps it and off he goes. Trying to do it all on his own. Out to Snyman. Munster desperately calling players out to the right-hand side where Leinster have numbers. Now Van der Fleer, can he get there himself? He's short again. Doris picks it, 7-8, and Leinster in for the try.
That's a try, clear
no
try
question.
for me.
Caelan Doris, it was Van der Fleer to Caelan Doris, and they're going to check it, but Donald, it looks on first impression like they had a second.
Busby was blinded, but for me, a definite try.
On-field try, Peter just got blindsided in the post, so I want to check, yeah. Mark, coming to you. On-field decision is try. Just want to double check he hasn't lost it, he's got over the line.
I'm just checking for a knock-on. Didn't look like it on first impression.
No, but Leinster are absolutely ruthless. When they get into that position on the field, they're winning the collisions, just that power after the tackle. Oh, did he knock it on?
Did it hit the ground there?
Yeah. Could
on
be
the turn.
Yeah. Is he in control of the ball and he lost possession? Is there any separation? That's going to be what the TMO will be looking for.
It's Mark Patton in the box today.
Looks okay from I thought it was earlier, before
just here.
the line.
Does it hit the ground there?
There's a change of hand.
He doesn't actually lose control, does he?
It takes, well, it's a transfer from one hand to the other.
Still looking here, Chris, just bear with us.
Casey's just retained possession here, yeah.
He's not held in the tackle, so therefore he's entitled to make the movement. I think he's okay.
Okay, Chris, I have a decision for you.
Go ahead, Mark.
The player retains possession and then grounds the ball, so you can stay with your own field decision.
Try given.
Yeah, the only decision for me is whether or not he lost control of the ball. I think it's fair to say he didn't do so. He's entitled to make the movement to ground it. Fair try.
Yeah, but the build-up play from Leinster, Donald, was superb. It was James Lowe working off his wing to be an outlet, and once they got away down the right-hand side, really good carry from Liam Turner. But we saw Gibson Park going for that big long pass back to Liam Turner again. But because he did it earlier for James Lowe, Munster trying to defend both sides of the ruck with width. And then when Leinster go the same way, just run out of numbers, and that power that we saw there from Josh Van der Fleer originally, and then Caelan Doris, they can't get a stop to it. You see here, the pass from Gibson Park again, it hits the 5th defender. And then it's just a numbers game and a power game.
Gibson Park huge, but another problem for Munster off the field, because Jeremy Loughman has gone off at a cut. I'm not surprised. John Ryan, who's technically down as tight head, he's come on at loose head. The reason for that, Kieran Ryan is only a 22-year-old, 3 appearances for Munster. That loose head slot, Dave Kilcoyne, Josh Wycherley are out injured. So John Ryan at the moment covering tight head and loose head for the next number of minutes at least.
So that's 2 of Munster's first choice front row gone in the space of, what, 11 minutes here at Croke Park. It's been a hugely competitive first 12 minutes. I know the scoreboard says 4-0 to Leinster, but in terms of the hits that have been going in, and already we've had 2 casualties. Now Scannell might indeed come back from his HIA. We'll keep an eye on that. But
replacement for Munster, number 18, John Ryan, replaces number 3, Steve Archer.
Here's Hugo Keenan,
Number 1,
trying to get away. And the offload. 3 on the outside. Frawley just couldn't get the pass away. Munster had a player just blocking his path. But they go left now. Caelan Doris out to Ringrose. Now James Lowe keeping chase from James Lowe. He's going to get the bounce here inside the 22. Oh, the bounce just on his knees. It's still alive, and Jack Crowley on the ground to rescue from Munster. Penalty.
Well, he hasn't released. Munster haunted to get away with that. The bounce of the ball saved the day. Leinster in total control of this game. 13 minutes in, bossing the set piece, and as I say, interesting. Now will they go for the corner again? I'd be surprised if they don't. It's exactly what they're going to do. They've full confidence in that maul. Their ability to they get more entries into the opposition 22 than any other side in URC, and already only 13 minutes in, and they're dominating territorially.
Bernard, what stands out as well is the pace and intensity of everything they're doing.
Yeah, look, we talked about the defence before the game, but their attack has been really impressive. First 30 minutes, the accuracy of it, the power, the ability to get that edge. I mean, Dennis Leamy must be looking at the score here going, this could be a long afternoon. And no, if there's going to be another penalty here, they look like they're so up for this. They want to lay down a marker.
And here they come, round the blind side, but it's been rushed into touch there. Good tackle from John Ryan and Kieran Casey.
Yeah, but it's a penalty advantage. Leinster. Munster so anxious to get the bodies in early. They got in underneath James Ryan.
With the lads, please.
You can't do that. Easy decision again here for Caelan Doris. Go to the corner. You can see James Ryan. He's the one calling. They've so many options in that line-out with Ryan, with Schneiman, with Jack Conan and Caelan Doris. Munster at 6s and 7s, just trying to decide. They're not going to compete in the air here. They have to keep that power on the ground.
Lee Barron throws to the back. Clean take again from Ryan. And a maul is called from Leinster. They're going to have a go at pushing Munster back over the try line.
One stop.
It's a bit of a mess of bodies at the moment. Away comes Jack Conan. He's got 3 tries already this season,
tackle away, Red,
including one last weekend in Benetton. Osborne, Frawley, quick hands. Hugo Keenan doesn't need anybody else, and the Leinster fullback makes it try number 3. This is turning into an onslaught.
Well, getting a little bit embarrassing for Munster now. The ease with which Leinster are scoring, but it's the variety, it's their ability to recognise where the space is under pressure. Jack Conan there, Munster had to put all their resources into stopping that maul on the ground, but still it was Jack Crowley was the one who got sucked in to defend. Beautiful pass out the back there from Osborne, and Hugo Keenan back from his sevens duty in the World Cup. Great pass by Kieran Frawley as well, and this 3 tries already, and we're only 15 minutes in.
Yeah, but Donald, you're spot on. It's the variety, it's the power of the maul. Obviously, they're giving away a penalty, the previous attempts, so they're conscious of that. And they got so narrow. You see Sean O'Brien comes flying in here, testing the skill set, but Frawley has a skill set to get that pass away under pressure. And that's the challenge for Munster. How can they actually put a little bit of doubt in Leinster's heads? Because at the moment, Leinster look like they've got all the answers.
Looked like he enjoyed that as well, Hugo Keenan.
Okay.
As Kieran Ryan, he mentioned, Donald, how little game time he's actually played for Munster, but he's straight into the thick of things here.
But he's on for Lee Barron, so Munster now have no hooker.
So uncontested scrums, if that's the case, and that will be the case, because...
but what effect is it going to have on their line-up?
Well, there you go. Do they have a Cian Healy type reserve situation where one of the props can throw? I'm not too sure. We haven't seen it so far. We'll find out, I guess, but... In terms of the set piece now, scrums uncontested. We don't know what's happening with the line out of Munster. 21-0 down. They need something here. Calvin Nash. Penalty. What of a chance just to settle things down here and get some ball.
Yeah, that's what they'll need. I mean, what a baptism of fire there for Kieran Ryan. Interested to see if Munster will actually contest the scrum. Is Ryan going to be...
yeah, I think Niall Scannell's about to come back on, Donald. He's passed his HIA, thankfully for Munster.
Just as well.
So we won't get to find out if they have a plan C or D even, but there he is, past the HIA, and looks like he's okay to continue.
Yeah, and has the decision been taken here to have a shot at goal? I think Munster just need a period to calm things down, try and get some points on the board, try and regroup in terms of clarify exactly what the position is with Niall Scannell. Is he available or not? And it's not quite clear just right now. He's down below us, jumping up and down. He is still has the coat on there. There he is. He wants to get back on. But why isn't he taking off his coat?
Yeah, he actually didn't have his coat on a second ago, and they put it on now. Hopefully he is able to come back on just for the context of this game. I think they would definitely, they wouldn't normally kick 3 points here, 21-0 down, but they just want to settle down a little bit. They look a little bit shell-shocked. They've had a lot of disruption over the last couple of weeks with injuries, but even, you know, having to replace your hooker, 2 hookers twice in this game already, it's just not ideal for them, and this is important for Crowley just to take a bit of sting out of the game.
Well, I'm sure he'll have forgotten all about last weekend against the Ospreys. It was an absolute nightmare to goal kick in horrendous conditions. And this one to put 3 on the board. It's a long, long way away. He needs to give it the full whack. He's brought it in. Hasn't even got enough, though. It's off the post. And into the arms of James Lowe, who just funts it away as far as Mike Haley. Trying to run it back. Oh, lovely dummy. Needs support now. Doesn't want to get isolated in those swarm of blue jerseys behind the Crowley again, looking to break the line. Better for Munster. They haven't got the 3 points, but they might yell get something on the board from these passages of play. Ball's gone loose on the ground. Penalty again.
Counter's good, but you've got to stay on your feet. He's on his arms, win the space.
Arms on the ground, pass the ball.
You heard the referee there, just you've got to stay up on your feet, but thankfully Niall Scannell has returned, so I think Kieran Ryan is probably the most relieved young fella around at the moment, because he'd have had to go in hooker. Not sure if he's ever thrown the ball, so Munster at least back to a standard front row, even though John Ryan, I'm sure he'll slot in at loose head, and you can see the difference there now. An easier penalty available to Munster, but they decide to go to the corner. They have to get points on the board.
Max Deegan's just come on for Jack Conan as well, Donald, and we're not sure if that's permanent or not as yet, but he doesn't look too comfortable out there, as you can see on the sideline.
No, it's been fairly attritional already.
Gap's good.
So it looks like his day is done. Max Deegan will get 60 minutes to play. Munster win the line out. John Clay. Out it goes Hodnett to Gavin Coombs, tackled by Van der Fleer. Casey's going to work the blind side here. Hands out to Sean O'Brien. Not a huge amount of room for the winger. Took the tackle, back to Coombs. And Casey again. Scannell. O'Donoghue.
No, Captain! Stay back.
Still Munster ball. Happy to just hang on to it.
Yeah, but look how fast the Leinster players get back into the line. Only one on the ground. And that's the power of the hit. That's Jamie Osborne on Tyke Byrne.
Look at Tyke Byrne. Well, he took a backward step for the initial hit, gathered his composure and said, I can take this centre. And that's exactly what he did. Coombs. Back inside to nobody. Penalty not coming.
Yeah, just the wrong option from Casey there. He knew he had the penalty advantage, and Kieran Frawley just you've got to make some effort to get out of the way. But Tyke Byrne, what yards after contact he made there? He's not happy.
Okay, Tyke, let's just take time off. Okay, Tyke, you shouted at me here, you shouted at me here. I want to work with you, but this relationship isn't working. Okay, come and ask me a question, I'll answer you. Shouting doesn't help. For me, he was onside the ruck, then he's came forward, so there's no problem. Okay.
Yeah, you can see no love lost between Tyke Byrne and Chris Busby at the moment. I can understand Tyke Byrne's frustrations. It's been such a disastrous opening 21 minutes for Munster. But they have a chance here. They have an opportunity. They're back to full parity. Scannell is on the field. They've got to try and work something off their maul. We saw how clinical Leinster were when they got within 5 metres of the Munster line. Can Munster reciprocate now?
Scannell goes to climb, but Leinster get up again.
Another steal by James Ryan.
Onside.
Deegan takes it in. And Osborne dropping very deep here.
It's lost. And use it. Leave it forward.
So Gibson Barrett's going to take the responsibility himself. And finds touch. Okay, let's go to Mike Prendergast. Mike, I know this is not the start you would have wanted here. What do you see as been the major issues at the moment for Munster?
Clear in the line, yeah.
Yeah, just you can see it there. Obviously, we got into the 22. We spoke about when we got in there, we got to come away with something. And unfortunately, I suppose we lost 2 lineouts there in the last 5 minutes or so. And I think they've showed us that any errors they'll compound and they'll score from it. And unfortunately, we haven't when we got in there.
Is it just about keeping composure now and working your way back into the game, just taking points when you can?
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get something on the scoreboard, keep calm, and drive forward from that.
Brilliant, Mike. We'll let you back to it. Thanks a million. Play continues here.
Cheers.
As Sean O'Brien tries to go round the outside of Hugo Keenan. And sometimes when you concede 3 tries like that as well, it just kind of focuses the mind a little bit. This is where you're looking for the experienced Munster players, Tyke Byrne, Coombs, etc., to settle things down. Crowley as well. Look at that from Tom Farrell. Brilliant power by the centre in the offload of Casey. And again, Nankiville this time. Brilliant from Munster. Leinster now on the back foot. Can they get in from here? This might be the turning point for Munster. If they get something going from this. Sean O'Brien, the offload. Oh, wow.
Brilliant passage of play by Munster. Their ability to keep the ball alive, to play out of the tackle. They did have that penalty advantage, but that will give them something to just grasp onto. They have to get points on the board, but if they keep playing like this, Tom Farrell, who I think has been brilliant since he's come down from Connacht, great offload from Casey. Nankiville, one of Munster's most consistent performers. Just trying to keep it alive, playing to width once again, but the scramble defence was there from Leinster. Penalty was against Andrew Porter for not supporting his body weight, and it looks as if Jeremy Loughman is now back, so Munster at least have a bit of parity in terms of keeping players for the second half.
But that scramble defence is exactly what I spoke about, the athleticism of Leinster. Most teams, they suffer that line break up the middle of the field, 2 offloads, they're going to be narrow. Leinster were able to get across and snuff out the danger. This is a big play for Munster, they need to get something out of this.
This will be the perfect time to get some kind of response. Taken by Coombs at the back now. The driving moments with Hodnett. Transfer to Scannell, who stays bound, and Munster pushing towards the Leinster line. It's going forward. Casey now wants to get hands on it. They've got to protect the ball first and foremost here. Leinster doing a good job of disrupting.
Okay.
Short pass again. Forward they go. Klein on the ground.
Stay back one.
Andrew Porter just told to stay onside. Munster keeping it tight. It's all about taking the right options here.
It's a red player slowing it.
Round the corner they go again.
No, it's a rock.
Barron told to leave it. Little step from Coombs. Sucking into Leinster defenders. Leinster managing to regroup on that defensive line very quickly each time. Ty Byrne gives it wide. Casey going to go out the backs this time. All the way out to the wing. This time in the corner for Calvin Nash. Oh, the whistle's gone. The whistle has gone. It won't count. It will not count.
Forward pass. Again, if you're looking to try and exploit that space on the outside, your skill set has to be absolutely perfect. We saw a very marginal call early on in trying to get the ball out there. The referee has adjudicated that one is forward. I'd like to see it again. Yeah, I think where it ends up, it's marginal.
Wow, that's not very clear. Now, look, Chris Busby has a better view than we do up here, Bernard, but that's a tight one.
Yeah, look at it. It's very tight. I think Nankivell will feel that he's hard done by there. I think in fairness to the Munster forwards there, it wasn't easy, but they were edging closer to the line. But also I think the backs understand how physically demanding that is, and they're trying to share the workload, and the space is there. And as we said, you just got to nail it. And there's probably no need to be that flat. Leinster, it's one-on-one winger against Gibson Park. You can be slightly a little bit deeper there, and you go score anyway.
But it's desperation, really, isn't it? You get into that position, you know you have the penalty advantage, and you've got to play for it.
Okay, let's go down. Murray Kinston, did you have a better view of that pass?
I'm at the worst angle possible, so I'll go with your view on it, boys.
Okay.
But I just want to say the variety that Munster are suddenly bringing now to the game, it is changing the picture, and Leinster's defence suddenly looks a little less comfortable. Even that play, it looks like they're going to go out the back to Crowley with Farrell running short and just go straight over the top of that line speed and have a shot out wide. I think they're using Casey's passing a little bit better. They're not going to that obvious first carrier off the ruck. They're putting it across the face of him to a slightly less obvious receiver into the short side a couple of times. So suddenly they're finding that variety, but unfortunately, Hugh, they haven't found the score with it.
Big scrum here. First to the full alignment. First scrum of the match is taking 25 minutes. Look at that, popped up. This time Leinster get the decision. It hasn't gone with them this season so far, but that a big moment.
Yeah, big pressure from Leinster. They were the one feeding the ball. Munster obviously looking to attack, put as much weight through it as possible. But
probably a bit pre-engaged for the next try.
Referee calling it in Leinster's favour.
So right, the next one.
25 minutes for the first scrum.
Yeah, you don't see that too often these days, I can tell you.
Yeah, Stephen Archer going skyward there. Huge pressure from Porter. He doesn't always get the rap he deserves from referees. I think a lot of the time they've made up their mind before they actually come out onto the field. And as a result of that, Leinster have conceded more penalties on their own scrum than anybody else in the URC to date, but that time came out on the right side.
Short line out, taken by Deegan, now into the hands of Caelan Doris.
Tackle, release red!
Manages to get a knee to the ground. Ball's gone loose though, and back on the Leinster side. Lee Barron.
Okay, leave it now, one lost. And use it!
Plenty of height on the ball. Mike Haley, safe pair of hands. Blindside they go. Nankivell again looking for Farrell. Back to Jean Klein. Crowley, Ty Byrne. Over the ball, Snyman trying to rob it. Lovely hands from Haley, beautiful from Haley, and now Munster backs getting involved. Farrell out to Nankivell. Grubber kick through, and across comes Kieran Frawley.
Retreat, Blue!
Into touch, better for Munster.
Yeah, it is, and from our vantage point up here in the Hogan stand, you can see the spaces out there. The problem that Munster are having is trying to get the ball there. Jack Crowley does well, great offload out the back. Tom Farrell, he's had a really good game so far, but Munster end up kicking the ball away.
Slap back from Ty Byrne. Again, the line out is not functioning as it should.
Away, Blue! Away!
Leinster are competing in the air all the time, and that's putting Munster under pressure.
Ball there for Casey. Again, a short one. Tackle from Ringrose. Going to drop that shoulder. Calvin Nash off his wing. Kick from Casey, blocked down. It was the right option, just to contact as he went to throw the foot at it. Here's James Lowe. Loads of space now on the left-hand side. Nankivell comes back, and that's going to go, I think, too far. Nankivell's going to play it, and he's got Casey with him. Oh, lovely dummy. Liam Turner completely wrong-footed there, and that's a brilliant kick from Craig Casey. Kieran Frawley, did he touch it before it went in? No, it should be Leinster ball, I think.
Yeah, super kick by Casey. You could see there, Munster didn't want to touch that down because we know Leinster have an awful lot of variety from restarts. But the kick from Casey, I think Casey's had a super start to this game, under pressure. His passing and decision-making have been really good.
Okay, just put time off here. Picker's done.
So Lee Barron just getting a bit of attention. All right, look, 28 minutes, half an hour gone. I mean, it's been a cracking contest. Take out the 3 scores and, you know, just general play, it's been very 50-50, hasn't it?
Yeah, Munster have asked some questions to Leinster, but have absolutely nothing to show for it. That'll really frustrate them. They lead the possession stats 53%, but you know, Dolan's talking about the Leinster liner. That's actually something that I hadn't noticed this season so far. They've been so competitive in the air, and I think maybe they've shocked Munster a little bit. And it's, you know, Jacques Nienaber came in late last year, but if you think about the Springboks team, the defence, everyone talked about line speed, at source, they went after you at scrum and the line out. They blocked off certain areas of the line out and made it really difficult to win ball. Ireland suffered against that in the World Cup, and it'll just be interesting when I get another look back at this. Are Leinster using the same system? They were using a mirror system last year where they try to manage all options, whereas it looks like here they're banking on getting up in an area and saying, get the ball over my head if you can.
Yeah, but I think they do have that advantage, as we say, about Snyman knowing the system, but also, you know, as a hooker throwing, when you see the fact they're competing so well in the air, it just puts your throw under even more pressure.
They're moving. That's good.
That was my excuse all my career.
Snyman, this time it doesn't go according to plan for Leinster, but they still come away with the ball. Would that go forward? It had to have gone forward. It did, and it'll be a Munster scrum. Let's go down again to Murray Kinsella pitchside. Murray.
Yeah, well, finally Munster get a bit of a change out of that line out as well, and that's what they need to do. They need the likes of Ty Byrne disrupting at source, because we've seen just how good Leinster are with that set-piece platform. And so far, Munster just haven't got that at all. I'd say Mike Prendergast up in the coach box is tearing his hair out. I know they had some plays lined up to try and go at that blitz off the set piece, because you're seeing the difficulties in D, and Birch mentioned it. Even when you think you have them broken, they're able to recover. They've got really good athleticism to get back in behind and cover that line break. So interesting challenge now, and here's a scrum, left-hand side. Let's see what Munster have up their sleeve.
Crunch!
Last one went Leinster's way. Will they put pressure on here?
Set!
A lot of experience in both sets of front rows. Munster's all-time cap player Stephen Archer. This time Munster get the penalty, and the pendulum swings the red way for Chris Busby. Again, an important one to win.
Forward straight, putting round and standing up under pressure. Very similar to the one down there.
Yeah, I think psychologically that's a huge one for Munster.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to come, but I understand.
They've got to try and get something. Once again, they have this line out in the Leinster 22. They have to get some form of return in terms of points from this. You just see the drive coming through there. Ty Furlong is adjudged to have gone across, not scrum straight. Again on the other side, Porter just going across. So multiple just offences there.
Open. Yeah, on tie, please.
Jeremy Lockman looks like he's gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson in there at the moment. There's blood streaming from the side of his cheek, and it's obviously okay to continue. Let's see if Munster can make something happen from this. They go to the back, that's much better. Ty Byrne taking it to Hodnett. Now Coombs straight over the top of Caelan Doris, who does well to hang on. 8 against 8 in open play. Farrell against Ringrose.
Tackle!
Jean Klein. Casey goes right. Jack Crowley tries to get away, almost did get away from James Lowe. Back to Lockman. Oh, brilliant. And look at Farrell again, almost through. Needs support. Chance here for Casey. Munster, surely this is it now. The two on the outside. Good tackle to bring them down. 5 metres out. Casey again. Looks for O'Donoghue. Brilliant defence from Leinster. Scramble defence once again. Anyway through. Farrell. Oh, it's intercepted from Jamison Gibson Park. It did go forward. Now, was that deliberate? The fans are shouting for it. Chris Busby is indicating a scrum.
See that as an attempt to catch? If it's different, it'll come in.
Yeah, I think it was an attempt to catch, but
Clear
so much better
just to knock on.
From Munster. What a brilliant no-look pass there from Jeremy Loughman to keep that movement going. Tom Farrell, as we mentioned, just that pass in the air. To be fair to him, both hands. He does make a clear attempt to catch it.
I know, mate.
Ty Byrne and Caelan Doris both talking to the referee at different moments to try and get an edge here. I'm not sure how much it's working. Chris Busby seems to tell both of them to step away.
And down in the contest, okay? Much better space. Same, please, yeah.
But it's been a huge period of dominance from Munster. You know, 6, 7, 8 minutes putting the pressure on. Leinster is always defending brilliantly, but they have to get some reward soon.
Crouch! Bind!
Just that 10-minute blitz from Leinster.
Set!
Yeah, but they were so clinical when they got their chances.
So brilliant at everything they did during that time. And that's the difference. A moment, penalty. Munster going to get another chance to go again here. It's another scrum.
Go straight, please.
That goes their way. Second in a row.
Against Andrew Porter again.
Just like we discussed pre-game, you need more patience forward both sides.
So Munster just smelling an edge there. Porter doesn't agree. Never came across the prop forward who did agree with the referee's decision. You just see pulling down there
line, please,
and coming across. Himself an Archer, 36 years of age. What a servant Archer has been for Munster.
Can't have you
their most capped player of all time.
I said we needed more patience. We agreed before the game, Andrew.
Munster try once again to breach the Leinster defence. Back they go. Gavin Coombs back inside. Brilliant, O'Brien. They finally get there. 34 minutes on the clock. It's no less than they deserve.
Super try, straight off the training ground. Brave enough to go to the tail of the line out. John Klein, you don't often see him stationed back there. For once, Leinster didn't compete. It was too close to the line, 5 metres out. Leinster felt Munster would go for the maul. Instead, they gambled. They just a clever little interplay right off the top. You just see it here. Klein dominant in the air. Brilliant inside pass. All the attention on Gavin Coombs, but that inside pass, he knew exactly Sean O'Brien was going to be there. O'Brien finished brilliantly.
Yeah, the reason there was no contest in the air was it was very nice by Munster to use John Hodnett, who was effectively acting as scrum half, to be the lifter, and Leinster didn't get a pod back in time. They were slow to get up, and as you said, Donald, Coombs is the one who draws all the attention, and Sean O'Brien loops around from the front of the line out, and a lovely score. In fairness, Munster needed an in into this game, and they've got it through the scrum. 2 scrum penalties in a row, gave them back-to-back 22 entries, and now they've got a try on the board.
Let's get down pitch side. Murray Kinsley, your thoughts on the try?
Well, a beautiful bit of work from Ty Byrne as well. He looks like the more obvious inside pass recipient, but then that late swing into space from O'Brien was beautiful. And it comes from a scrum again, another scrum penalty for Munster. And coming into this game, Leinster have been up there as the most penalty scrums conceded, whereas Munster had a really squeaky clean record. They actually hadn't conceded a scrum penalty on their own ball coming into this match, and maybe that feeds into it when a ref is making that decision. But it has been an area where Leinster have tended to be heavily penalised. Yes, they're probably winning more scrum penalties and being more aggressive, and they feel that that's an area to go and win games, but it comes with that weakness as well.
Yeah, and it's a good point as well, because you watch Ty Byrne in the build-up to that try as well. It would have been so tempting for him just to reach an arm out. The ball was there, but he knew Sean O'Brien was coming behind. He couldn't see him at the time. Made the space for him, and in goes the winger. 21-5. The conversion missed by Crowley. Just completely shanked it. If we were on a golf course, it'd be in someone's house, ducking for cover. But nonetheless, 36 minutes gone. 21-5. What a contest we've had, and what a game it's been so far. Kieran Frawley smashed in the tackle.
On your feet.
There for Gibson Park, and now Leinster trying to respond here before half-time.
Big hit there from Jack O'Donoghue. He's really played well. Got himself around the park.
Away 2. Don't pin him in. Do not pin him in. The ball's there. Don't pin him in.
Up it goes from the Leinster 9. Turner's after it, can't get near it. No Jordan Larmour, no Jimmy O'Brien, and no Tommy O'Brien. They really are losing wingers at a rate of knots at the moment, so it's a chance here for Turner to make a bit of a name for himself in the 14 jersey.
Yeah, just in the excitement there, you see Munster 5 points. Jack Crowley, a fairly straightforward conversion, but he just cut it. It went straight across the goalpost. He'll be disappointed not to have had it through there.
There's a throw. Deegan takes it. Frawley goes flat. Oh, lovely from Ringrose. And Caelan Doris almost got away. Now, Gibson Park switches the play. Deegan accelerates into the tackle. Good tackle, though, from Scannell. Now Van der Fleer. Leinster trying to answer the Munster try with a score of their own before half-time. Here is Andrew Porter. Breaks the tackle. Big clean out as well. James Lowe. Turner. No way through. It's been ripped away. But the whistle's gone.
Tackle his knees on the ground. Then you've stripped it.
Tackle was called just before the strip.
Tackle complete, then you've stripped it. Knees clearly on the ground, tackle complete.
Yeah, I think it's against Jack O'Donoghue there. His work rate has been phenomenal, but you got to get back on your feet. You got to release before you contest that turnover.
I've been doing a bit of a player cam on RG Snyman this first half, and you've never been accused of being a pacifist, but there's a real edge to every contact he's had. He made a massive clean out there on Tom Farrell. He's really looking to show the Leinster fans what he's going to bring this year.
I thought you said he had loads of pals in that Munster team.
Not on the evidence of what we've seen.
Sign of respect. Sign of respect. Melting people.
Lee Barron to the back.
That's a ball.
Taken by James Ryan. Ball is called by the referee. And back to James Ryan now. Caelan Doris. Tackle by Hodnett. Leinster looking for a bonus point before the half-time whistle. Just over a minute to get one. Deegan. Been over the ball. On his feet, Nankerville, but in from the wrong side.
It's here. No,
and it's a penalty. It's a gift of 3 points if Leinster wanted.
Through the middle, please, 12.
He was on his feet, but he was in from the wrong side.
The same as 8 there. 12 on the side.
Yeah, all of that is a consequence of pressure. There's a sort of a meeting going on at the moment. Caelan Doris, captain. They're going for the short tack penalty. They're going for the juggler. 30 seconds to go to half-time. They could have a bonus point.
On the line.
Well, the Leinster fans appreciate it. It's a move right off the training ground. Ball's gone loose, though. They didn't protect it. And the penalty comes.
He's offside.
Yeah, now it's Scannell. They're clearly not behind the hindmost foot.
The ball comes out, it's out. But you are offside. Not for the back foot.
He just couldn't help himself. He was clearly offside.
Nice part. On the line, please.
Another training ground move, no doubt. No, Barron, pick and go. What do they do from here? Doris this time. So difficult to stop. Gibson Park to Osborne. 4 Munster jerseys pounce on the Leinster 12. Now Snyman against his own team. Has he got it down? He has. Well, won't you believe it? O'Hea Snyman against his own side at Croke Park for the bonus point.
Yeah, look at the smile on his face. He has no regrets. Sometimes you see in soccer a fella going back to his old club and he makes no response when he scores a goal, but not for Snyman. Great decision in the end by Caelan Doris to keep hammering. The easy decision was to take the 3 points. But what a blow that is for Munster on the stroke of half-time. Impossible. Craig Casey, of all people, trying to hold him up. Talk about getting the matchups wrong. Stephen Archer does his best, but his levers, just watch him. Impossible to stop from that distance.
Yeah, we'll speak that in the way, yeah. Is that right? One thing it's like known as a knock-on reward is you pin players in. There's a couple of times in midfield. With the score, but it was a high shot from Jamie in the phase before.
So Frawley then to close out the first half for Leinster. No joy with the conversion. First one he's missed all game, but it doesn't really matter. They've got 4 tries on the board. They have a bonus point as well, and Gatman against his old team has ended the first half in Croke Park. What a game it's been, what a contest it's been, and we've got plenty more to come with the second half not too far away. Don't go away. Leinster 26, Munster 5 at half-time.
Croke Park 60 announcements. Shoulders from Dublin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the interest of your own safety and that of the players, Croke Park and Leinster Rugby ask everybody to cooperate with the Gardaí and not to come onto the pitch area during or after today's game. Thank you for your cooperation. Supporters are advised that the consumption of alcohol is not permitted in the seated areas of the stadium, and a reminder that smoking and vaping are only permitted in designated smoking areas.
It's an absolute brilliant to have our back card with half-time innings back playing again this evening with 4 games and 8 teams out there. Let's give a huge Croke Park cheer to the players and their coaches from Balbriggan, Blackrock, Arklow, St. Bridget's, NU Barnhall, Mullingar, Seaboy and St. Mary's. Let's give a big cheer for the minis!
The 5. Stay back 1. He's back in the line. Beyond 15 over. More over. Don't change. Down by blue. One stop. Tackle away red. Down by blue. One stop. Tackle away red. Tackle away red. Tackle away red. Beyond 15 over. Beyond 15 over. Beyond 15 over. Beyond 15 over. Away red! No 7, release! Away red! No 7, release!
Please make some noise for our drummers, Hit Machine!
It's the warmth of the weather, the joy of connecting, and the whistles across the blast. It's the youth of the tackle, the eye of your threat, the joy of the step, and the silence of Tito. And when our try comes, it's joy, it's relief. We're jumping around with no need for a seat. The moment is ours, we all feel the same. And in this league, we want it to be everyone's game.
Yeah, I'll just let you know what we're doing, yeah. King, how long we got?
Well, we're Set to go then, as the famous Leinster and Irish face. Good to see Robbie Henshaw here, and hopefully he's not a million miles away from getting back to action as Jack Crowley and Munster get us back underway. 26 points to 5. It seems like a mountain. It probably is, but you wouldn't rule anything out in these games. Leinster had their purple patch in that first half. Can they keep it going here? Munster, I'm sure, will say we had plenty of chances, we had plenty of opportunities, we didn't really get the bounce of the ball, and there is a way back in if we can find it.
Yeah, there is. I mean, once they get on the forward foot, certainly their offloading game has been superb. Managed to keep the ball alive, but they have to score early. We're just looking there, Gus McCarthy, he's only just out of under 20s rugby, captained Ireland 20s last year, 21 years of age now, a player that a lot of people feel will play for Ireland in the not too distant future.
He went on that emerging Ireland tour as well, did he not?
He did, yeah, but he obviously with the problems Leinster have hooker-wise, he was a bit like Sean O'Brien on the wing for Munster. They were sent to him early. I'm sure this time last week he didn't think he'd be featured in Croke Park. What a chance for him.
What do you think, Bernard, as a hooker?
Yeah, look, they're both exceptional players. Lee Barron had a very good first half. I'm not sure if he picked up a knock. Gus McCarthy is someone they're really excited about, and look, he was probably someone that was being planned for his development over the next 2 or 3 years, but the injuries to Dan Sheehan, the injuries to Ronan Kelleher means both himself and Barron have been thrown into what's an incredible occasion. And from what I've seen of these two players through the school system, through under 20s, they both have incredible talent, and now he gets 40 minutes. They both get 40 minutes each to show what they can do.
First scrum then for Gus McCarthy into the Leinster front row. The last couple of penalties at scrum time have gone to Munster.
No, guys, just stand up. All right. Far side is okay, but we're pretty engaged, lads. Pretty much on crouch. All right.
You were talking about rope-a-dope earlier on, Bernard Jackman, when Munster just picking their time to swing. Jeremy Lockman looks like he's in all sorts of, but that cheek has swollen up twice the size as it should be.
Yeah, he'd be very conscious of how important it is he stays on and gets as many minutes out of himself as he possibly can to help the cause. You know, it's not easy. I know Munster have got a couple of scrum penalties there, but the exertion in these scrums to try and contain Porter and Furlong takes a huge amount of you, never mind all the tackling and clean out work he's had to do around the field.
Yeah. Good carry from Gavin Coombs, though, to get Munster on the front here now. Through comes Caelan Doris, and he just came through the middle. Chris Busby said fair contest, and Munster did not protect the ball.
Doris he had a really good first half. What a way to start the second.
Chip and chase then. Crowley trying to get the bounce here. He might get it. Just went forward.
Just a knock on.
Just not happening for them.
No, it isn't, and you know, Munster just weren't alert. The referee adjudicated that the ball was out there, and Doris coming from an onside position, he was entitled to contest for the ball on the ground. Gavin Coombs does really well off that scrum. The free kick sucks in 3 or 4 defenders, but the support was just too slow in getting there, and Doris using all his experience.
I've read it the way I've read it. I get you frustrated. You can't swear at me. Okay.
Just the knock on there from Jack Crowley.
Okay. Thank you. Crouch! Bind! Set! Can you use it?
Ringrose. Lovely wrap from Frawley. Oh, look at the line from Turner again, but pretty well marshalled by Calvin Nash. Followed him across to make the tackle. Ringrose again. There's options both sides of him.
Tackle, release!
Hits the ground. And Munster let go just in time. Ryan. Frawley again. Behind from Snyman. Hugo Keenan. Nowhere to go.
Hold blue.
Haley this time. Opting to run it back. Straight into Tyg Furlong. Chip and chase again from Crowley. Was he checked there? He claims that he was, but referee Chris Busby says play on and Leinster have it back.
You don't have to get out of the way, and Snyman is such a big man, he stood his ground. Nice pick up from Calvin Nash. Farrell, lovely pass. Sean O'Brien. Try score, needs a bit of help here.
Nankivell trying to get away. Good tackle from Furlong to put him down. Ball there for Casey. Now Munster trying to spread it a bit. Any room for Crowley? Ringrose hands went up. It looked like it went forward from him though. It did go forward. Munster get the scrum.
Yeah, Munster frustrated. They think again that was deliberate.
Yeah, I felt he was trying to catch.
There again, Kyle Byrne just questioning that.
I mean, I can see Tyke Burns' point here. I mean, if your hands are that high up, are you really realistically going to catch the ball?
Yeah, it is, I've seen penalties given for that.
Same space. Okay.
But Leinster just managed to scramble all the time. Munster trying to create something out of nothing. I feel they have to push the button, and that's dangerous. We've seen very little of Gary Ringrose in attack. He has a huge role to play in that defensive blitz that Leinster do in that 13 channel. A lot of big decisions to make, but we know he's outstanding in terms of he has the experience to do that.
Set! Stay up, one, up. Use the ball!
Farrell, lovely pass on the outside, inviting one as well for Sean O'Brien to come on to. He did exactly that. Klein to Scannell. Bear hug by Andrew Porter to drag him down. Space for Munster now. Here right, the pass just at the feet and out front. Kicks ahead. It's going to go into touch inside the 22, but Munster trying things are just not quite coming off.
Yeah, that's the challenge. I mean, you have to have the skill set to try and get the ball out wide there, and just a loose pass from Tom Farrell, who's played really well, but you just see it here. The pass goes to ground, just slides out of his hand, and very difficult for Jack O'Donoghue to take that.
Scannell just getting a bit of attention there. But while we have a break in play, we lost a legend of Irish rugby and indeed the Lions rugby this morning, Donald Lennon. Ronnie Dawson passed away. An incredible life and an incredible career.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic man. Captained the Lions to New Zealand in 1959, 27 caps for Ireland, captained them 11 occasions, chairman of the IRB. He was one of the central figures in Irish rugby when I was a player. He was a brilliant man to go to if you needed something for the team. A huge loss to Irish rugby and indeed Leinster rugby, a proud Wanderers man, and a sad loss, but a fantastic man. Really, really enjoyed interacting with that man over the years.
Yeah, a huge imprint on Irish rugby, didn't he, really? And of course his journeys with the Lions well documented as well. When it was an altogether different time, Donald, it wasn't the high-class, first-class trip that it was today. Maybe it was a long tours away from home a lot, and he embraced that.
He certainly did. I think the 59 Lions, certainly the 55 Lions, they went by boat 3 months from this side of the world. I think one of the players went with a broken leg, and by the time they got there, he was fit to play. I mean, you were away for 6 months, 33 matches in those days. Slightly different to what we have now.
Just a small bit.
Just a bit more.
Robbie Henshaw getting some attention from the matchday cameras. Don't think he was all that comfortable with it, but nice to see a smile. And Munster with the line out. This is again, if Munster can strike first and stop Leinster from scoring any more here, they'll be back in this game. But they've got a bit of work to do down just to get out of their 22 and win the line out. They don't do that again. Leinster get up so well. It's come off Jamison, Gibson, Parks. They will have a long night. They need to sort the set piece out.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Leinster pick their moments. That's the thing. They know close to the line they're going to defend on the ground, but just reading it, it's Max Deegan on that occasion.
Craig, you're outside. Okay.
That's the fourth line of Munster have lost in this game.
Mark is outside.
Ty Byrne standing at the back. This time, no problem.
Yeah, but again, you see Snyman's hand in there.
Coombs against Doris.
Tackle it! Not over the top.
Look at Doris at every rock, every breakdown. He's just a nuisance.
His work rate today has been phenomenal. Nice take from Keenan. Ringrose has to help him out. Nice clear out on Hodnett as well, just to make that room. There's, who, Doris, once again. This time, he's swallowed up by Jeremy Loughlin, who drags him back towards the halfway line. And Leinster get it out. Porter. Behind it goes, Osborne. Munster running out of room on the left side, so long pass out to Tegan here. Tegan one-on-one with Calvin Nash, and a bit of help as well from Nankivell. Osborne. Again, Munster quickly to make the tackle. I think Stephen Archer was first to get there. Gibson Park to James Ryan. Into a brick wall that is John Klein. Frawley. Well, it wasn't quite a Gary Owen, wasn't quite the chip ahead maybe that he intended, and Munster deal with it. Should be there for Casey.
Good contest.
Crowley, Sean O'Brien. Van der Fleer over the ball, told to leave it. And now Coombs.
Tato, release!
Lovely hands, brilliant hands. Haley now, chance here. Calvin Nash, two outside him. Here's Hodnett with a step off his left, and now Nankivell.
Look at the ability of that Leinster scramble defence to get back again.
They're so quick, aren't they?
Well, just when you feel the door is opening, Leinster just manage. They're so athletic, they read it so well.
Out it goes, Crowley leaves it this time. Dropped by Lockman. And it's going to be a scrum. Bernard Jackman. They're trying everything.
Yeah, they are. Look at it.
His hands are beyond
They're nearly on 10 minutes of the second half, and they've stopped Leinster scoring. That was actually their best defensive set of the game. And when they got the turnover, Leinster were obviously disorganised because they were in attack, and there was space down the right-hand side. But they're using so much energy to stop Leinster. They're using so much energy to resource the breakdown, whereas Leinster have been ferociously attacking, even post-tackle, that their shape gets completely lost. This is how they get around them here. That's nice play. You see Keenan in really close. He really narrow. Calvin Nash puts away Hodnett. And from this offload here, but they're on the front foot. But from there, as Dolan said, Leinster get organised completely. Munster 4 players in the breakdown, and then that shape isn't good enough. But they're nearly punch drunk. That, you know, it's the energy they have to give. You see Lockman there, like.
But I'm sure he couldn't see that ball. His eyes nearly closed over.
Yeah, but Klein's coming off now. This is taking a huge amount out of Munster just to stay competitive, and that's just probably a function of the power that Leinster have.
Okay, Jean Klein's gone off. Tom Ahern's come in. His first appearance. Murray Kinsella.
Well, Leinster are doing such a good job, and Bernard was just talking about there of the defensive side of the game, but they're so disruptive in everything that Munster do. We spoke about the line out in the first half, then they bring on Max Deegan, who's made more lines and steals than anyone in the URC this season. And then Caelan Doris in particular, I think around that breakdown, has been phenomenal. And you guys have mentioned him a couple of times. He really pushes that borderline of legality. He almost has an invisibility cloak at times, and you think he's going to get done here for a pen. At times he does spill over the edge, but he's just so disruptive. Munster had a brilliant chance to start that second half really well. They got into the 22, but unfortunately it was Caelan Doris who got that steal. And then down the other end, as RG Simon comes off, he made a really big impact as well. It's up to you guys.
Well, you can't expect to switch codes from a Munster red to a Leinster blue and not get a few boos when you come off the pitch.
Well, I think he's trying to decide, is that a cheer or is it a boo? I think the Leinster crowd tried to drown out the Munster crowd, but listen, either way, Schneiman, I think he can be more than happy with his debut in the Leinster jersey at home.
Red. Keep the space, please.
Leinster take it quickly. And Rose straightens up. In over the ball, trying to rip it away is Ty Byrne. What a brilliant steal from Ty Byrne. That is fantastic work at the breakdown. Lockman still plodding away, even with that massive shiner he's sporting, and it can't be easy for him with one eye working. There for Casey, he's going to work the blind side here. No room really for Nash. He did well to come back inside. And now Munster can set again. Crowley thought about the dummy. O'Donoghue, lovely hands. Lockman again. Big tackle from Van der Fleer to smash him backwards. Crowley, space on that far left-hand side, that's where Munster go. Hodnett, lovely hands, Sean O'Brien against Turner, breaks the tackle, and the second, and the pass was to a blue jersey in the form of Jamie Osborne.
That sums up Munster's day. Sean O'Brien did absolutely brilliant. Step 2, guys, he was just hoping the support was on the inside, but Jamie Osborne read it really well.
Okay, leave it please, Captain. And use it. Okay, use 9. Yeah, ball's out. Inside.
Safe touch found.
Yeah, and the longer this second half goes on, Munster trying to do everything within their power.
12.
You know, at times they're playing really brilliant rugby, but the problem is they're up against what in effect is an international force.
Sorry, time off. Which number, please, John? 3. Number 1.
Yeah, and John Ryan, who's been sort of exclusively a tight over the past few years, he's covering loose head as well.
Just waiting, we just need a
and
number.
Jeremy Loughman just couldn't go on anymore.
No, he couldn't. Look at his face, he's busted up.
His eyes closed. Bear in mind, Munster are on a flight to South Africa tomorrow, I think, going down for 2 games against the Stormers and the Sharks, and you just wonder how many of them will be left after this game. And the last thing Munster would have needed is to get on a long-haul flight. But anyway, that's a problem for another day.
Well, for Leinster, while we were talking, Ryan Baird, who's only just on the pitch for Snyman, has had to go straight back off, I think, for a HIA. So I don't know who's going to come on in his place. I can see Tom Clarkson coming in as well. Yeah, so it's Clarkson for Ryan Baird and HIA.
Yeah. Okay, lads, going to put time back on. It's a 5-man line out. Okay, time on.
See what they do in terms of a reshuffle here.
We're on the line.
Yeah, which is Ryan Baird. He just got involved with his own player. You just see it
just there.
James Lowe. Bang on the head. Those scrum caps you see now, they're able to measure impact.
Another steal. Back inside, Hugo Keenan calling for it and getting it. Good line as well by the Leinster full back now. Osborne, 3 in is outside. Ringrose misses out 1 and goes straight to James Lowe, who drops it forward, and Mike Haley gathers the loose ball. Still on his feet. And a knock-on advantage.
Still knock-on advantage under pressure.
Well, Munster still have the scrum. They go back to the scrum.
Yeah, and look at the pressure Torres is putting on again there. The problem with the just how flat that Leinster line is. Munster are passing deeper and deeper. They're almost on the retreat.
Yeah, it was a knock-on by James, yeah.
The problem for Munster, Donald, is whatever plan they had pre-match in terms of attack, once the score is 26-5, you don't want to be kicking it away. You know, you don't want to be playing pragmatic rugby. You don't want to play the percentages. You kind of feel you have to go, and as we just showed there, you saw Doris, you saw Deegan, you saw Josh van der Fleer just hunting people down, and the deeper they go, the more Leinster will love it.
Yeah, and I think the Leinster players can sense that, so it's almost as if at times they're happy to let them have the ball, let them make the mistakes, you put the pressure on them, because every time you get that mistake, the head just drops that little bit more.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Let's see how this one goes then. Leinster try and get the shove. They have a bit of a nudge here. Munster need to get away. And Casey does so. Crowley, Nankivell. Tackle from Osborne. It went backwards though. This Busby right on the spot. Who's going to put their hands on that ball and reclaim possession?
Yeah, but look at the pressure Leinster are putting on that breakdown once again.
And they have it here. James Lowe through the gap. Into the 22 now. Ball there for Frawley. Doris, Osborne. Ringrose had to take it at a bit of a standing start. Long pass again for Lowe. That was a risky one. Paid off though. Doris now. It's been everywhere.
Away in! Stay there, stay back.
Frawley, dummy. Nice placement of the ball for a scrum half. That's exactly what you want as a 9. There for Osborne. Leinster trying to do it through quick hands now. Munster calling for numbers on the right to try and defend, but Leinster have come back the other way. Clarkson. First touch for him. Blasted out of the way is Tyke Byrne. Again, the little pass in behind to Hugo Keenan. It's just keep ball now for the home side. And Frawley to Clarkson again. Oh, Porter's dropped it. An advantage being played to Munster. Chance to kick this one away. But nobody in a position to do so.
You want that or you want that?
Craig Casey says we want the scrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he realises the lungs are under pressure. In fairness, really good defensive effort there, because Leinster threw 6 or 7 decent phases at them. Some of Leinster's attacking breakdown work has been excellent. Tyke Byrne just thought about getting a jackal turnover there, and James Ryan absolutely blasted them out of the way. Munster hanging in there, but this last quarter could be really difficult for them because they're spending a huge amount of energy just to stay competitive.
Yeah, I think so, and I also think that Leinster bench, they've 6 internationals on it, Munster 2. They'll have more power coming in. You just see Gavin Coombs, who in fairness has tried his heart out today, carried really well.
But he's been so well defended. There's been 2 players on him every time he's got the ball.
Yeah, but I think Leinster know that he's one of their go-to men. If you stop the big, it was like the old hammer long ago when Cheval turned up in Thomond Park. It's the same principle.
Okay, let's go down pitch side. Murray Kinsella, obviously a lot of attention on Kieran Frawley today. It's been his turn in the spotlight to start at 10. What do you make of his performance so far?
I think he's done really well. He hasn't tried to overplay his hand. Has probably been the most impressive part of it, because when you get this big opportunity, it's easy to go for that kind of superstar play, try and do something special, but he's actually just really focused on guiding that team around. Some really nice subtle touches on the ball, some lovely kicking when they've not been able to get momentum in their attack. He's gone to the air really well, and I think at the moment he'd be very pleased with how it's gone. I think that's exactly what Leo Cullen and Ian Aber would have wanted to see from him, just that control on the game. And then defensively as well, you've got to pick out that part of his game. He really gets stuck in. He was involved in that last turnover at the breakdown, and he's a big unit as well, so a pleasing day for him so far.
Yeah, and he puts himself in harm's way as well. He's not afraid to take on that defensive responsibility. Scrum, penalty, again goes to Munster.
Leinster aren't pleased there. Problem is, when you're driving, you got to drive straight.
Yeah, the problem is, Donald, as well, is that this is not new. This is consistent during the year when that first choice front row plays. They are super aggressive and they chase everything, and they are dominant. But the loose end's always going to get picked up there for walking around the scrum, and it's just something Porter. We don't want to take away his natural aggressive scrummaging. When he gets it right, it's perfect, but when a referee has clearly not seen what you believe you're dominant, you got to back off a bit.
Well, he has to learn, I think, that less is more at times. Even break off and just try and keep the front row straight. You go back to the World Cup quarter-final against New Zealand, he was caught a few times. It's the same principle.
So what a game that promises to be in November as well, when New Zealand come calling. There's no love lost between them at the moment, Ireland and New Zealand, that is, as Munster onto the ball here, trying to get points on the board with 25 minutes left on the clock. Still plenty of time here, but Leinster look comfortable in maintaining their lead. Behind from Scannell, breaking the line. Farrell, nice work. Still Farrell trying to get through all on his own here. Does he need help? He does. Gets it from Nankivell. Nankivell all on his own. Had Tom Ahern on the outside calling for it. Shirley Munster. Calvin Nash trying to turn his body away from the line to get support. Munster now, if they score here, will give themselves a fighting chance of getting back into this match. Munster fans roaring them on. They've come alive at Croke Park. Can they finish? Ty Byrne. What a brilliant break that was from Tom Farrell and Alex Nankivell. Munster desperate to finish from here. Ty Byrne, pick around the back. Casey, Munster up so quickly, up too quickly, and again Munster trying to recycle. Was that straight? It was miles forward again, and the whistle has gone.
Yeah, but what a scramble from Leinster. Brilliant attack by Munster. They got away down the left-hand side. 2 quick plays off 9, and then they got to Witt, but Leinster's got so many bodies back on their line, and then got to blitz. Brilliant by Tom Farrell. He's been really bright for Munster since he joined from Connacht. Gets the offload away, but not many teams can get back in defender line after a line break like that.
Yeah, and you really have to be up in our perch here to see the work rate of Leinster off the ball. Gary Ringrose there as hungry as he was in his first cap, and the skill set then comes under pressure. It's the third time Munster have tried to get the ball wide, but unfortunately pass was forced. Calvin Nash.
Was there a hand there from Leinster in there? Just watching the replay, John, it looked like it came forward off a Leinster hand. Just watch this. I think it's Hugo Keenan coming up just here. There.
There's definitely contact there.
I think it's Gary Ringrose, actually.
Was it Ringrose?
I think so.
Captain, you can see they will have the wrong way start. It's going to be a scrum. It is an attack.
It is Ringrose. So just a scrum. Yeah, they spotted it anyway. Okay, so opportunity's still there.
Yeah, it is, and you feel for Munster, they certainly deserve something for their efforts But that Leinster defence is getting better and better. There were periods last year. Nienaber came in late because of the World Cup in South Africa. It took him a while to really impose himself, but I think Birch, defensively, organisationally, they've gone up another level.
Absolutely, it's so impressive, and I know he's really enjoyed having that pre-season, getting to just drill it again, and the players apparently are so receptive to it. They faced it with Ireland had an amazing attack, and they found it so hard to break down those South Africans, and if they can actually continue to improve that, make it even better, that could be their key to win the trophy.
Bind! Set! Stable! Use the ball!
Casey told to get on with it. Leinster putting pressure on. Here's Crowley, delayed it to Nankivell, but again the read was perfect from Osborne, who jumped him to the ground like a rag doll.
Yeah, but look at the pressure after the tackle. You know, Osborne did brilliant. Look at the response from the Leinster players. This guy, outstanding for Ireland. Andy Farrell picked him at full-back for the 2 tests against South Africa. He can play in any number of positions, but just the power, not only from him, but the support from Leinster to get there, to support him, to drive over the ball, to turn it over. That's heartbreaking from a Munster perspective.
From my point of view, having criticised Leinster for being super aggressive at scrum time, they were unbelievably aggressive at that scrum, but stayed disciplined. You could see Tyke Furlong, he burst through the hole between the loosehead and hooker, and because of that, Casey was passing on the back foot, and that's when the likes of Jamie Osborne can get in there and win a battle against someone like Nankivell, who very rarely loses collisions.
Well, he doesn't go backwards too often, but Jamie Osborne is a big man, 6'4". I mean, you talk about Frawley. Frawley is 6'3" and 100 kg. That's 15.5 stone in own man's language, and he's your 10.
Yeah. I'm 15.5 stone, but I don't have the fitness to back it up. Right, Murray Kinslow, what do you make of that?
Well, it's just the story of the game, really, isn't it? How Leinster looked like they were going to concede, and they managed to scramble back, and now they've got this fantastic turnover. And actually the discipline there at the breakdown was brilliant. They spoke about it at half-time with Connor, just that discipline allowing Munster in. But that time you saw Frawley and Turner, they barred through the ruck, but they stayed up, hands off the ground, so they didn't give any cues for a penalty. It was outstanding technical work on that barge after a brilliant tackle from Osborne. So really, for me, that's the story of the game right there.
Story of the match, and we've got 20 minutes to go. Penny for your thoughts. Graham Roundtree, Dennis Leamy, Mike Prendergast just out of shot. They need to get the ball and they need to get points on the board, but Leinster have it, and Leinster are trying to stretch their lead even further. Turner off his wing, lovely pass to Hugo Keenan, skips away from the first tackle and into a sea of red jerseys. Gibson Park, Frawley kicks it through, nicely done, has to be dealt with. That's all really that could be done. James Lowe never took his eye off it, trying to spin his way out of it. Gibson Park comes back to the left hand side where there's only 2 Leinster players. Penalty, no release on the ground.
Yeah, Munster competing really well there. Niall Scannell just got his hands in, and for once Leinster didn't resource the ruck properly.
Number 2 played on his feet.
Really smart by Scannell there. He just pushes Thomas Clarkson off his feet. He's going to be the key man to resource that ruck, and then Scannell gets in over it. Look, there's a huge amount of focus on the 10s, and Frawley's been excellent, but
number 11. I
don't think we can judge him vis-a-vis Crowley, because it's been so dominant by Leinster. The quality of ball, the momentum he's played with, it's been chalk and cheese to what Munster have been able to give Crowley tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, the half-backs, they live and die by the quality of the ball, the speed of the recycle, and Leinster have ensured that Casey and Crowley have lived off crumbs, really.
Shane McCarthy in for O'Brien, Conor Murray as well on for Casey, as Coombs
away 10.
High. In behind it goes from Tom Farrell, and out for the first touch for this man. 2 tries this season already, Shane McCarthy, including the quickest ever try in the URC last weekend in Cork against Ospreys. That'll be something that'll go down on the records for quite some time, I'd imagine. Offload to Haley. Ty Byrne back inside. Scannell, that's beautiful. Just couldn't find John Ryan on his shoulder. And now Leinster have it back, and they're looking to try and capitalise from here. Kick over the top. James Lowe on the chase here. Is he quicker than Mike Haley? He might get there first. Haley gets back and did absolutely brilliantly. That was huge pressure.
Just about. What a kick from Gibson Park. You know, I mentioned him in the first half, the way he scans the field, the way he understands where the space is, and James Lowe as a sort of a telepathic feed into him. You just see it here, ball being turned over, and James Lowe defeated. Just great kick here. Mike Haley was struggling to get back, but gets his body in front of Lowe just about, just in time. The difficulty is, like, Leinster have Munster exactly where they want him. A restart here. Watch Leinster here. They're bound to have something to play off this. It's another set piece now.
So Crowley goes down that right-hand side. Turner takes it. Good leg drive to bring Munster just outside the Munster 22. Carry from Doris. Keenan, Crawley, Ringrose.
Ball lifted.
Ty Furlong. No way past so far.
Well, Leinster haven't scored since half-time.
Yeah, it was the same last weekend in Benetton when they scored in the 39th minute of the second half, but were, you know, home and hosed by the break. Might be just something to look at here, but Munster having to defend, and can they keep them out? Beautiful offload, Osborne to Frawley on his shoulder.
Quiet.
Tight Furlong, that was just about straight, but Leinster still have it. Then the penalty.
First arriver and clear left of the ball.
Yeah, Tyke Byrne, I mean, he's played a captain's role throughout. He's just an inspirational figure, really, and outside of the set piece, his work at the breakdown, even going backwards. Brilliant play here by Jamie Osborne, who I think is really impressed again today. Kieran Frawley keeping that ball alive. Good tackle by Tom Ahern. Problem for Munster is they're just being hemmed back into their own half of the field.
He's coming towards you there, John.
Tyke Byrne there, only his second game, and he looks out on his feet.
Just watch going across, yeah. Just watch going across here, lads.
Well, Munster's most capped player, Stephen Archer, started the match. Leinster's most capped player was on the bench, and here he is, Cian Healy, in to replace Tyke Furlong.
I mean, his career for Leinster has been just off the charts, the highest there. He's also played 112 Champions Cup games, 131 caps. First you played with him.
Yeah, I think last weekend he was prepping to play hooker, given the injuries, and he's well capable of it, but he's getting a chance at loose head.
Break from Conor Murray, sorry, Birch. Munster trying to get something going here. No support when he needed it, though. Here is the aforementioned Stephen Archer, and Tyke Byrne to act at scrum half, behind from Scannell. Munster, can they keep this alive? Farrell did well there in the contact. Coombs kicks it through. Now Leinster are going to be caught here. Mike Haley's going to get there first. Can he pick it up? Yes, he can! Munster have a second try. It's taken a long time in the second half, but maybe that gives them a chance.
Well, it just gives them the hope to keep driving on. To be fair, they've thrown everything at Leinster. Leinster have sort of been more focused in defence. They've been more focused on keeping Munster pinned back in their own half. But they haven't given up. There's a chink of light there. First score in the second half, you just see here, comes off a line-out. I think when they look back, they'll be raging how their line-out has went. Conor Murray just assesses the scenario, keeps the ball alive. Stephen Archer at 36 years of age, great support. Tom Farrell, Birch has mentioned, has been really good today.
And the kick from Coombs.
Absolutely, what a kick. He's played a lot of Gaelic football in West Cork, I know that. But Mike Haley, just a glimmer.
Yeah, just that line break from Murray just took Leinster's backfield defence away from it, and fair play to Gavin Coombs. He spotted where the space was. They haven't got a huge amount of change keeping ball in hand, and I was going to say before this try, it's been a pretty spirited display from Munster. Graham Rountree can't be too upset about it, but there's been some wild swings early doors in some games, and there's been big comebacks. If Munster could come back and win this game, it'd be the most unlikely story so far.
It would be embroidered over stuff if they can do it, but look, they're not without a chance here. There is enough time here. Crucially, they need the next score, and they need to get hands on the ball.
Yeah, but look, it's the spur they needed to keep going, to keep fighting. And for whatever reason, you highlighted the fact that Leinster overloading in the first half, Didn't score right till the end, did Bennett on last week, but we'll see what the reaction is now from the men in blue. They won't be happy to have conceded that try as John Hodnett looks ready to come back in.
Tell you what, that's a thick old beard he's got cultivating there. That's Mike Heidey's third try of the season so far. We've got 13 minutes to play in Croke Park. It has not disappointed.
Super take from Ty Byrne.
Murray puts one up. Hugo Keenan having to come a long way for it and did really well. Brilliant take by the full-back. There's the ball. Munster appealing for a knock-on there in the close contact. Keane Healy taking it to the line. Here's Frawley. In behind it goes Osborne. Tackle by Farrell. That did go forward.
Good contest. Played by Red.
No, it's okay, apparently. Looked like it went forward initially. Well, now they've spotted it. And it's run to Munster.
Yeah, I think assistant referee coming in here is a problem. Another Munster player down on the backfield is Ty Byrne. And with a trip to South Africa looming, he's the last player they want to lose. I just see the ball squirming out there. Not sure whether that was legal or not.
No, it's just a knock on at the ground. Oh, it's your scrum, yeah. You okay, Tag?
Huge collisions from the very start.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there'd be sore bodies after this.
But there's no release. He's a tackler. I didn't read it that way.
Ross Byrne and Luke McGrath coming in now for Leinster.
On that one.
It looks as if there's a total reshuffle. Liam Turner is coming off the right wing. I think Hugo Keenan will go on to the wing, and Kieran Frawley drops back into the full back slot.
Yeah. But it might just have to penalise you if it impacts it, yeah.
Well, look, that's one of the advantages, Bernard, isn't it, when you have like Osborne, Hugo Keenan, Kieran Frawley. They are very interchangeable and adaptable if you need them to play in different positions.
Yeah, and even Gary Ringrose has played a lot of rugby on the wing. Robbie Henshaw can play full-back. They're very lucky, and they are being stretched at the moment. I mean, Harry Byrne is covering the back three. If there's an injury, they've obviously decided not to use that now. They've obviously got a Frawley there, but even a squad of Leinster's depth is getting stretched this early part of the season with some injuries.
Yeah, it is, but it's nice to know in the new year you might get an old Geordie Barrett there from New Zealand to cover some of those old gaps.
Santa's going to be good to Leinster this year.
It's gone down.
Okay. We're in again, guys. I just spoke to you before the scrum. We need more space. Okay? Okay, go ahead. What number? Sure, what do you know? Okay, we've got HIA. Get off, please.
Well, I think it also shows where Munster's resources are pushed in the front row as well. Stephen Archer at 36. He's having to maybe put in an 80-minute performance here. John Ryan on the other side is also 36. Gavin Coombs going off there. Got his 100th cap against Zebre. That's not a day he'll want. What should have been a special day, unfortunately not great.
Yeah, and I think Andrew Porter is scrumming down a flanker at the moment on the right-hand side, so he's behind Clarkson, if I'm correct.
You're dead right.
That's exactly where he is. Donahue, Murray, quick hands. That wasn't.
Just the line out, yeah. That is still live.
It's gone straight in for a line out, so it doesn't matter either way.
Drifted forward, I thought.
It definitely did, but they've gone for the line out.
Just give us space, lads, okay? We'll get your tempo. Yeah.
Just trying to do too much.
Step off, please. Thank you. It's 5, yeah.
So Gus McCarthy getting instructions from Healy.
Okay, we got space.
Nice take from Tegan. Drive him off from Leinster. And Luke McGrath looking for options out wide. Osborne takes it up. 10 minutes left on the clock. Ryan.
Can use it. Outside 16.
He's going to test it for Calvin Nash. Under pressure from Van der Fleer. And he did well. Here's Haley. 12-field kick maybe here. Now across comes Kieran Frawley to try and gather the loose one. Slightly wrong-footed and a good tackle from Shane McCarthy.
Yeah, Frawley read it well. It just didn't bounce the right way for McCarthy.
Ringrose trying to get away. Ball comes out the side. And Munster have it. It went forward from a Leinster hand. Chance here to counter. Conor Murray. Farrell has McCarthy on the switch.
Okay, tackle now, away one.
Taken in by Ruan Quinn. Crowley. Nowhere for O'Donoghue to go. Need support though. Leinster over the ball and they win the penalty once again.
How many times have they done that today? Doris in there again. Van der Fleer. Two of them have had massive games. Again, 72 minutes. Leinster haven't scored in the second half. I mean, that'll be sitting in the back of their minds, I think.
Yeah, and for the second week in a row.
Maybe that's why they're going to the post.
Yeah, really interesting debate there. Ross Byrne is shouting corner, corner, corner. Caelan Doris is taking on a bit of advice from, I think, Gary Ringrose as well, and decided to take the shot. I think the fear I'm just trying to work out the logic of it. Obviously conserves a bit of energy, but maybe their fear, if once they get a breakaway try, they obviously get within 7 and get a losing bonus point, whereas this would take that away.
Yeah.
.30, Ross. Okay, 30
So we remember the Champions Cup semi-final last year in Northampton when they came right back into the game and then almost managed to steal it at the death, but we're not quite at that level yet. Still a long way to go. First shot at goal from Ross Byrne.
10.
It's a long way back, but he struck it pretty well. It's gone to the left and wide though. 22-metre dropout.
Yeah, but it just takes the sting out of Munster. They have to start all over again. As you said, Birch, I mean, Munster have tried so much today. They've just been up against a superior force, and that's what Leinster do to you. They just strangle you.
Yeah, look, I think, and even some of the errors that we may, when we saw it first, we'd say that was an unforced error. It's probably coming from the pressure that Leinster were putting on. I think they'll be really happy with how their game is this early in the season, and Munster will obviously regret the poor start, but still see enough in it that they can try and build on. Until they get some of the key players back, it's going to be a struggle for them against the top 4 or 5 teams in this competition.
Yeah, but they have another problem now. John Ryan is gone. Took a big bang there.
A lot of pain, all right.
I tell you, there'll be nobody left for this flight to South Africa the way things are going.
We've 18 down here. Time off. 13.
Shoulder.
13.
You can just see him.
Yeah, he's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance is the URC record was 80,468. Thank you all so much from Leinster Rugby.
Confirmation of a URC record attendance then, and for the last time in the game, let's go down to Murray Kinsella pitch side.
We spoke about Kieran Frawley a bit earlier on and how he had a nice game at 10, but one man who made it easier for him was Jamie Osborne beside him. I just wanted to flag his influence on the game. Still only 22 years old. We know he's an excellent fullback as well, as he showed for Ireland in July, but he's been really outstanding in the midfield today on both sides of the ball. He's been physical when he's had to carry, some lovely subtle touches with his handling as well, and defensively he's really stood up when Munster have got that momentum into their game. He's been a real success story of the last few years, a guy who's come through the Leinster youth system, which is important as well, to have that influence into the Leinster team as well. And yeah, he's done himself proud, and I think it's fantastic to see he's having such a kind of dominant influence on a game of this magnitude already at the age of 22.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's to the manner born out there. He looks so comfortable in all duties that he's been asked to perform, and you just get like the feeling that his ceiling is incredibly high, that the talent that he has, the physicality, the shape that he is in, and his ability to read the game as well, no matter what position, that he is going to be a huge asset to Irish rugby over the next few years. But this for Leinster's first points in the second half. Looks like he's just up and now. It's come off the upright again. Still no score. Stephen Archer. Murray then He's got Haley.
Onside,
and he's got,
onside. Hold the front, Red, hold!
It's a decent kick to clear.
Yeah,
Tony Butler just on the pitch.
Tony Butler's just come on. Difficult to get for him in zebra, so it's no harm for him to get back out on the field. Just try and get that memory out of his head.
And last throw of the dice then as Harry Byrne comes on to join his brother in the Leinster team. And I can ask you, Donald, I think this is a good time for your URC player of the match.
Yeah, look, I mean, Tom Farrell has impressed for Munster, but all the stars really on the Leinster side. Ryan and Snyman in the second rugby next to JB Osborne in the midfield. But for me, Caelan Doris with incredible stats, 16 carries, 17 tackles. He's my BKT URC player of the match.
Yeah, and it's not just what he gives you in the carrying as well. His work at the breakdown, it's almost reminds me of Richie McCaw an awful lot of the way. He just manages to be in the right place at the right time and then have the physical power and the tenacity to come and get the ball whenever he pops up. But well deserved.
Stay.
Tried to boot as well. Taken in by Gus McCarthy. Just about hangs on. Ball there for McGrath. Now Osborne. Doris. Wrestled to the ground. Ball's gone loose. Penalty.
Yeah, Nankerville just couldn't get out of the way in time.
Quick tap from Ringrose. Inside the 22.
Stay back.
McGrath looks to find Healy. Munster looking to finish with a try. And the first points of the second half. It's Osborne now. Upton against giving the pass wide. Short pass again. Clarkson, where's the ball? There for McGrath. Ross Byrne. Clarkson.
Advantage, knock on.
Went forward, Munster advantage. Chance to clear.
Okay, he's on his feet, just easy. He's on his feet, but it's a knock on first. Redspur.
Yeah, Leinster just unable to control the ball there, but really the vast majority of the second half has been played in that Munster half. Tom Ahern, great to see him back on the field. Gary Ringrose is influential as ever.
United Rugby Championship player of the match, your captain, Caelan Doris.
It's fun, boy.
One of the positives Munster have taken out of this is their ability in the second half to get after it inside the breakdown. They've made it a real mess. There's been some clear jackal turnovers, there's been a couple of penalties won, and then there's also been balls that have just gone forward because of the pressure they're putting on the ball carrier as they go to ground. So Leamy will take some comfort from that, despite the fact he won't be happy giving up a bonus point.
N9 in. Stay behind the ball.
It's gone down. Murray gets it away. Butler. Nankerville. Out to Haley. Wants to kick ahead. Lovely kick. Ross Byrne scrambling back. Gets there first. And Munster, did they let him up in time?
Okay, let the ball come, Red.
Ball should be there.
No, it's still in. Okay, it's not lost, Red. Counter good.
Teagan.
And use it. No ads! No! Not over the top. It's a ruck.
Back from McGrath. Ross Byrne. Bit of room on the right-hand side if they want to run this ball. Out it goes from Harry Byrne to Keenan.
That was inside there, that's right, yeah.
I'm happy to play the ball in Munster's half of the pitch. Last minute. Jack Crowley's still full of running anyway. Out from Murray. Jack O'Donoghue to Archer, who wasn't expecting it. Advantage to Leinster. This could be the last roll.
Yeah, big chance for Leinster here.
Dummy switch from Ross Byrne. Paul on the outside, Osborne's on the wing. Rubber kick through. No foul play, says the referee. Munster have to deal with it though, it's still in play. Here's Calvin Nash. All the way out to Shea McCarthy, standing widest of all. And we know this guy's quick if he gets space here. Thought about the offload. Couldn't find a red jersey though. And we've gone the 80 minutes, so last play.
Yeah, big problem for Munster. Calvin Nash shifted.
There we go.
Big hit there.
Yeah, well, look, I guess the tale for Munster, if you're drawing the positives, is that they kept Leinster scoring. But Donald, in truth, Leinster did enough in the first half to win this game.
Yeah, no question about that. I think that try just on half-time on the fourth try of the game, that absolutely killed Munster. To be fair, they came back, they threw everything at it. But Leinster, they're like a vice grip. They just close everything down. They pinned Munster back in their own half. Leo Cullen and Ninaber, well, look, I mean, following up from Benetton last week, they didn't score that point in the second half, but listen, they won the derby, they got 5 points, that's 4 games, maximum of 20 points return. That's some start to the URC.
It is, but for Munster as well, you look at the injury list for next week as well, the trip to South Africa, Donald, it's no joke. We talk about the amount of players gone, there's even more lost tonight.
Yeah, there is, certainly Jeremy Loughman. He'll have a busy week, but I just see Calvin Nash now struggling. He took a late hit. You just see him there on camera from Harry Byrne, and that injury concerned me. You think about you're playing the Stormers in Cape Town. Yeah. I remember the final 2 years ago. Then you're going to the Sharks, who were a totally different proposition now. Yeah. I think they've 9 Springboks to come back into their squad. Saya Khaleesi is back. Evan Ensibet, of course, in the middle of that, so it's going to be testing for Munster the next few weeks. Well, but hats off to Leinster.
Munster came to the Lion Pit and they came out second best today, no doubt about that. Cracking game, cracking contest, and plenty more rugby to be played over the next few weeks. Full-time score then from Croke Park. Leinster 26, Munster 12. Some big, Jim. Nice job.
Claire, thank you, and James Ryan is here to present his captain, Caelan Doris, with the VKT URC Player of the Match. Thank you, James. Caelan, sum up that performance from Leinster. A lot of the heavy lifting was done with 3 tries inside the opening 14 minutes of the game. That's one hell of a platform to build on.
Yeah, definitely. Similar to last week in some ways. We had a fast start. We felt our fans behind us and wanted to put on a good show for them early on, and I think we did that. We got 2 tries in the first 10 minutes, and pretty happy with the first half. I think towards the end of the first half, our ill discipline let us down, and that followed through into the second half. But the quality of Munster, we knew they would fight back anyway, regardless of our ill discipline. Some of that was from their pressure, so it was more of a battle in the second half, definitely.
Almost more impressive without the ball. Your scramble defence, your breakdown work, your physicality from minute 1 to the end was incredible, really.
Yeah, we feel there's been good growth in our D. Looking back at some of the games last year and where we are now after a full pre-season, really getting more comfortable with Jock's system and loving putting pressure on and loving catching up underneath with the scramble as well. So yeah, it's rewarding when it comes off at times. Munster's attack is pretty good as well, and they beat us at times, but no, it's an enjoyable one.
And when you're that ruthless in attack then and you have that solid defence, it's a pretty good mix.
Yeah, it's definitely enjoyable to be a part of. There's ball players across the back line and some in the forwards as well, and yeah, there's opportunities when we're playing like that.
Brilliant spectacle, really enjoyed it from the sideline. What's it like to play in front of 80,000 at Croke Park?
Yeah, it's incredible. Leinster have obviously only played here 3 times, and we feel very fortunate as a group to have played the majority of us in 2 of those, so unbelievable atmosphere. It's pretty unique having 82,000 filling out this place. It's not many clubs in World Rugby have a fan base that big, so we massively appreciate them. We felt them today.
Congratulations, well done tonight.
Thank you.
Well, James, incredible game. 2 sides that gave it absolutely everything in front of north of 80,000 people at Croke Park. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, it's an amazing day. Look, it's incredible to have that support here today. So, you know, we just want to give the supporters that came today, you know, something to get behind. And look, we were very good in the first 40. I thought we started really well. Munster responded.